Six Nations round 4 is here, and if you want to climb the fantasy rankings this week, then you need this video. Round 3 was one of the most volatile rounds yet. A lot of the big guns hit, but a lot of the big guns also missed. And nobody really delivered as a super sub. And if there's one thing that round 3 taught us, it's that fantasy rugby is brutal. One bad decision can completely wreck your week. And that's where I can hopefully help in today's video with a deep dive to bring you the smartest picks, the hidden gems and the value picks, and the best captain and super sub picks for round 4. With only 2 rounds left, it's make or break time. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who to transfer in, who to avoid, and the best captain options to maximize your points. So let's get into it. Okay, so kicking off with a very quick recap of my team from round 3, as I covered this in detail in my last video earlier this week. It was a so-so week. I scored 459 points. James Lowe was my captain. He really disappointed with only 19 points, so 38 points after the captain bonus. I had good performances from Duhan van der Merwe, Louis Bielbieri, Jamie Osborne, Antoine Dupont, who was unbelievable, Jack Conan on 38 points, and that was pretty much it. Julian Marchand was my super sub, 39 points after the super sub bonus. Decent enough. I mean, none of the super subs really delivered in round 3, so that was good enough. Hoping for better this week. Now looking at the FRG mini league, it's a big congratulations to the Ducks who lead the way after 3 rounds. They're sitting on top on 1,503 points. Thor's Thunders in second place on 1,498 points. And then right behind them are No Rucks Given, Big D and Dara McNamara. It's tight at the top with loads to play for. Okay, onwards to round 4. Quickly, before we move on to the tips, and I won't be making a regular habit out of this, well, maybe again in round 5. I'm just going to quickly ask for those of you who aren't subscribed to me but are watching my videos to click that subscribe button. I'd love to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the Six Nations. There's a lot more videos coming as I'm looking to start doing more regular roundups across the Prem, URC, Super Rugby, and I'll shortly be doing a lot more around the Women's Six Nations, and a preview on that will be going live over the weekend. So if you're enjoying my videos as much as I'm enjoying making them and learning about YouTube and getting this all done, then please give me a subscribe. It will really help me a lot. Thank you. Okay, so moving into my suggested picks for round 4. A quick caveat. So this has been done before Italy have announced their team. There may be changes, so make sure you keep an eye out. Check the round 4 picks on fantasyrugbygeek.com, which will go live tomorrow, probably in the morning or lunchtime after the Italy team's been announced. Okay, looking at the 3 matches we've got this week. Opening proceedings for round 4 is arguably the game of the tournament, where the unbeaten Ireland, who are on track for a historic three-peat, host the France team who in round 3 recorded the biggest winning margin of this year's Six Nations, defeating Italy in Rome 73-24. Both France and Ireland have named squads packed with fantasy talent, and you can expect a monumental matchup as France try to ruin Ireland's chances of making Six Nations history. The bookies are giving Ireland a very fine edge, giving them advantage to win by 1 point. It's going to be very close. The late Saturday game sees Scotland host Wales. Wales may have been on the receiving end of their 15th defeat in a row in round 3, but new coach Matt Sherratt presided over a much improved looking Wales performance. This could be the round that the losing streak that hangs so heavily over the heads of the Wales team finally comes to an end. They will have a big job on their hands, however, to take away a victory from Scotland at home. And Scotland themselves will want to get back to winning ways after a very disappointing Calcutta Cup performance in round 3. Scotland are the bookies' favourite in this match, unsurprisingly, and the bookies are backing them to win by 16 points. Wrapping round 4 up on Sunday is England v Italy at Twickenham. England enter round 4 off the back of 2 home wins against France and Scotland, whilst Italy enter off the back of a brutal loss to France in Rome. Despite this, it could be closer than many expect, and Italy will be looking to bounce back after such a tough experience in round 4. Nonetheless, the bookies are backing this for the biggest mismatch of the round, backing England to win by 22 points. Okay, so now into the round 4 picks, and getting started with the props. Now, every round that goes by, budget is becoming less and less of an issue. We're seeing less teams go with the no prop or single prop strategy. So this could now be the round to start spending a bit more on your props. Generally speaking though, I don't like spending a lot of budget here. If I had an unlimited budget, my top 3 picks would probably be Andrew Porter, Ellis Genge and Pierce Schumann. I'm looking at the players who are likely to get runs, carries, also making the big tackles, and also a try threat. So those are the big three for me. Honourable mention goes to some of the better budget picks. Both Nicky Smith and Real Griff John are great options if budget is an issue. Okay, now into the hookers. First up from Ireland is Dan Sheehan. He's been off his usual form the last couple of weeks, but he's always a try threat and always a great option to consider as a hooker, and would be my first choice, especially if budget wasn't an issue. As an alternative, Jamie George could be considered. Maybe he's a bit past his peak, set to hit 100 caps this weekend, but he's still more than capable of getting on the end of a try and also worth considering. But Sheehan really is my first choice pick. Okay, now into the second row. My first option here is Maro Itoje of England. Itoje now in this round has the opportunity to make history. He just needs 2 more breakdown steals to overtake Brian O'Driscoll as the players with the most ever breakdown steals overall in the history of the championship. And against Italy in particular, he's got a great history, winning 12 steals against them, more than any other player in Six Nations history. Second up, Tadhg Beirne. He's the top scoring lock in the game. He's always a danger for line-out steals, always a danger for tries, and always a danger for breakdown steals. Again, he's the most expensive second row in the game, but he's worth it. Third up, Dafydd Jenkins of Wales. He's always going to put in the high volume of tackles, but also based on history, he's likely going to play the whole game. In previous matches where both him and Will Rowlands have been playing, if there's been 1 second row on the bench, it's usually been Jenkins who's played the whole match. So he would be my preference. But if budget is an issue, then Will Rowlands is a very, very strong alternative. Okay, into the back row. There is literally an embarrassment of riches that you can choose from here. So many great options. The ones that really stand out to me start with England's back row, Ben Earl. He roared back to form in round 3 against Scotland, where he was England's highest scorer on 34 points, courtesy of a signature performance that was high in tackles and high in carries. He looks to be back in form and well worth considering. Caelan Doris, he was in hot form before he missed Ireland's round 3 match against Wales, with an average points per game in the first 2 rounds of 39, and he's going to be ready to pick up where he left off. Gregory Aldrit of France must be under consideration. He's the top scoring forward in the game, but I would flag some caution here. You need to tread carefully. There have been injury rumours this week. Anthony Gelonk is on the bench, and the fact that France are playing a 7-1 split may mean that if he's showing signs of any kind of injury, he could be coming off early. And then Jack Dempsey from Scotland. In all 3 rounds so far, the number 8 playing against Wales has delivered some huge scores. We had Aldrit in round 1, we had Canone in round 2, Jack Conan in round 3, and Jack Dempsey may well keep this trend up for round 4. But there are so many options to consider in the back row. You've got Rory Darge, Jack Morgan, Tommy Raffel, Josh van der Fleer, Sebastian Negri, Tom Willis, Tom Curry, Paul Budahent. There are so many options here. If there are good value options that allow you to spend big elsewhere, maybe go for some of the cheaper but high quality back row options you have there. Okay, scrum half. I think we all know there's only really one option worth considering here. France's scrum half, Antoine Dupont, just insane numbers in round 3. A 90-point haul courtesy of 2 tries, 110 metres carried, 6 defenders beaten, 8 offloads, 3 assists, 4 tackles, and then to top it off, not surprisingly, the official Six Nations Player of the Match award. An incredible performance that was comfortably the highest fantasy score so far in this year's fantasy game. He's a must pick, but if you want an alternative and if you're looking for a differential, then I suppose Ben White from Scotland is worth looking at. He's been quietly racking up the points. He's one of only 6 players to ever score a try in each of the first 3 games of a single Six Nations campaign. This is a feat also matched this season by Tommy Freeman and Louis Bielbieri. So he's in the tries, he's up against Wales. He's worth looking at, but honestly, after the score that Dupont put in last week, if he does something like that again and you don't have him, you're going to be in serious trouble. All right, into the fly halves, and with Marcus Smith now dropped from the starting lineup, Finn Smith for me is well worth looking at. He's great value, he's a consistent scorer, and with Marcus Smith on the bench, he's going to be the first choice kicker. As an alternative, if you've got a bit of extra budget, then this could definitely be the game to invest in Finn Russell. Again, playing against Wales, he's going to get plenty of shots at goal. He could be worth looking at. And if you don't have the budget to invest in Finn Russell, but you have a bit of extra budget knocking around, then there's always the highest scoring fly half in the game to consider, Sam Prendergast, who should get plenty of kicks at goal. Into the centres, A few options to consider here, but number one really is the picture consistency. It's Scotland centre Hugh Jones. He scored against England. He's a must pick in round 4 with Scotland taking on Wales. Other options include Bundy Aki from Ireland. He's back in the starting lineup after sitting the last one out on the bench. This is the kind of tight game that Bundy Aki always flourishes in, so he's worth considering and adding to your list as options for the centres. Jamie Osborne, also of Ireland, is available for just 9.9 stars, and after a try-scoring performance from fullback in round 3, he's now been shifted to the wing for round 4. A great value option and a great budget enabler, allowing you to spend big money elsewhere in your team. Okay, back 3. Some really strong options here, loads of options to consider. First of all, I'm starting with Scotland's fullback, Blair Kinghorn. Kinghorn has been off the scale of many of the core scoring metrics, even if he doesn't have a try to his name yet. Kinghorn's beaten 15 defenders so far in the 2025 Six Nations, second only to Blair Murray. He's made 8 offloads, second only to Antoine Dupont, and he leads the highest metres carried in the Six Nations this year, with 499 metres carried in just 3 matches. A full 183 metres more than his closest rival, Duhan van der Merwe, on 316 metres. Van der Merwe himself is a great option for round 4 against Wales. In round 3, he delivered once again against England with a player of the match performance that netted him 62 points. These points came from a try, 140 metres carried, 5 defenders beaten, 3 offloads and assist. He's got the form and he's got the history against Wales as well. Louis BLB from France, he's the top try scorer in the Six Nations so far, consistently getting the metres, consistently beating defenders, regardless of the opposition. And he should be at the forefront of many teams. And then finally, Tommy Freeman of England. He's scored a try in every round so far and is now coming up against Italy, who had the leakiest defence in the competition, having conceded 18 tries in just 3 games. A few honourable mentions to consider, a few alternatives. Tommy Freeman's wing teammate, Ollie Slateholm, who is an excellent alternative to Freeman if budget is an issue. People talk about the lack of tries that England backs are scoring, but with Fraser Dingwall also now in the England squad, the Saints connection is strong in the England backline, with 5 of the 7 playing together at club level, so you can expect a much more cohesive backline performance. Also, Darcy Graham, he's back in the mix after his absence. He's always capable of delivering. Blair Murray, who's also in great form. He's got the most defenders beaten in the Six Nations this season with 19. And then Damien Penaud. We all know what he's capable of. Okay, now looking into my recommended captain picks for this week. I'm looking mainly at England and Scotland's options, unsurprisingly. First up, Duhan van der Merwe. He's in form. He's off the back of a great performance in round 3. And he scored 2 tries in this specific match against Wales last season. Alternatively, Ben Earl, the 2024 top fantasy point scorer, is showing signs of being back to his best, and he could wreak havoc against Italy on Sunday. Finally, Blair Kinghorn. He's doing carrying, he's beating defenders, his offloads are off the scale, and if he can add a try to his tally in this match, then he's going to be scoring huge. Super sub options, again, I'm looking at Scotland and England primarily, although Jack Conan from Ireland is a very strong option. He always seems to deliver when he's coming off the bench, so he's going to be a very, very strong super sub selection choice. From Scotland, I'm looking at Matt Fagerson, a very, very strong option off the back row. Again, he often slots into 8, and we know how number 8s do against Wales. Luke Cowan-Dickie, hooker for England. He's already got a good record as a super sub. He did great as a super sub in the Autumn Nations series. He could be causing havoc when he comes off. Marcus Smith, England, he's the real big super sub option this week. On the bench for the first time this year. We know what he's capable of in the fantasy game. It's not clear whether he'll be coming on at 10 or 15. It's not clear whether he'll take the kicks off Finn Smith at that stage. But what we know is what Marcus Smith is capable of. Lots and lots of running with the ball, plenty of defenders beaten, assists, tries. He's got it all in his bag, and he could be a brilliant super sub option. Okay, it's bargain basement time. Looking at some of the players priced at 12 points or less who could really make an impact in round 4. Firstly, kicking off, Tom Jordan from Scotland. He's available for 11.9 stars. Finn Smith of England, we've already mentioned him once, available for 11.4 stars. Great value. Tommaso Allen, another fly half option, 11.8 stars, likely starting at fullback if he's selected. Back row option, Tom Willis, available for 11.5 stars. He came off early in the last round, but he should have a longer run this week. And when he gets the ball in hand, he can really do some damage. Thibaut Flamand, again, great value in the French second row, 11.4 stars. Max Llewellyn, 11.2 stars. Showed lots of promise on his first match for Wales in this year's Six Nations in the last round. Second highest scorer in the Premiership this season, always a try threat. Ellis Mee, really impressed in round 3, available for just 11.2 stars. Another great value option available for just 11.3 stars is Will Rowlands of Wales. Johnny Gray, another second row option, 10.9 stars for Scotland. Fraser Dingwall, who's coming into the England starting lineup, is available for just 10.4 stars. Michael Guillard of France, again, another strong second row option at 10.4 stars. Lots of great options in the second row if budget is a problem for you. Jamie Osborne, we mentioned him already, playing categorised as a centre, playing on the wing, available for 9.9 stars, a great value route into the Irish back line. Dave Cherry, available from 9.9 stars. And then I had to mention the cheapest prop in the game, Nicky Smith, available for 7.4 stars. So as always, I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives you an indication of some of the players you should be looking at for round 4. As always, I'm still learning on YouTube, so I really appreciate any feedback on any of my videos. I'm going to be doing more and more on this. So any feedback you have would be greatly appreciated. I'll be uploading more tips and picks over at fantasyrugbygeek.com. My round 4 picks post will be going live very soon. I may even just push it out before the Italy team's announced. If you want to see my full team reveal, then head over to my membership site at buymeacoffee.com, where you'll also be able to share your team with me for direct feedback on any changes I'd recommend. Also, as usual, please keep an eye out on Spotify for mine and Paul Shimfo's new podcast, Six Nations Fantasy Rugby Geeks on the Go. It's a short bite-sized preview of each round of the Six Nations. It's on Spotify. Click the link in my description or just search on Spotify for Geeks on the Go. Make sure you give me a follow on X, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, Instagram for all breaking fantasy news. But yeah, that's it. Make sure you get your teams in for Saturday and good luck.